do any pans around when you started the broadcast thing or anything? Or? Oh, the ambient? Okay, I'll try not to talk. Only thing I really know is when they score, just if you can let me know when you go to go to the hero camera so I can reposition to the center field. So
Yeah,
I know
I
when to
will.
move. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
So I'm going to be talking to Garrett. I won't be talking to you. You're going to be game cam, so just listen to me when I tell him he's hot.
Sure.
Yeah.
And from Missouri State here in Springfield, Missouri, we are trifecta for a long weekend with Texas A&M taking on Washington University of Missouri. And we have a 5 o'clock matchup with A&M taking on Missouri State. And tomorrow, 11 o'clock, we have St. Thomas taking on Missouri State for what looks to be a heck of a matchup. The Bears have thrown their big grizzly arms around us and welcomed us into Springfield here, and we are trying to get a shot clock taken care of. For those of you who know anything about high school or college lacrosse, that seems to be the bane of everybody's existence, the old shot clock. So, and we got the officials coming out, and I guess everything's in working order. And we'll have the two principals dap it up and head to their respective creases, and we will be underway here shortly. And off we go. And we'll have Alex Sanchez facing off for Texas A&M. And Washington wins. And Texas A&M is going to have to take some time to get used to this turf. It's not like grass and a little bit more resilient than what they might possibly be used to. And Travis Paulson sets up on the wing, shoots wide. Washington retains. Bears look to exploit the seam. And Haverman is in for the Aggies on the save. Aggies on a desperation clear turn the ball over to Washington. The Bears roll down, set their offense. Paulson shoots. Haverman on the save. Rolls back to midfield. And as I was saying on the turf, that thing's going to roll forever. So you got to be after it. McGrone clears his check, gets a shot off wide, Aggies ball. Sam Hines for the Bears comes in, forces a turnover. Let's see if the Aggies can get a clean clear here. Down to the end, turned over on the back check by McGrone. Bears ball. Ethan Schaefer limping around. Don't know if he got pushed hard on the turnover. Maybe it'd be a pride issue. Washington shoots wide, hits the pipes. Ball still live. Ground ball pickup by the Bears. Freddie Gadalero on a great strip and recovery. Feeds Aaron Sharpley, shoots wide. Aggies retain possession. McDowell with a handy pickup and then some pressure applied by James Lewis. Ball turned over, Bears ball. Clean one-on-one save. Haverman pulls it in. Aggies look to clear into pressure. Apparently we are not calling push in the back today. And Darren Lee just right on the crease. Dumps it in over Haverman's stick. And the Bears go up 1-0. Darren Lee steps in for face-off on for Washington. Aggies ball, pressure, and Washington ends up with it. Over to McGrone. Ball down, still live. Washington rails it back in. 42 on the shot clock. And Washington scores. Has rolls across the goal face and has Haverman kind of stuck playing pressure on the inside edge and opened up the outside. for the attackman from Washington. Shot clock issues proceed. Procedure, Aggies ball. Alex Sanchez will bring it up. Aggies will reset and restock the cupboards on offense. Dow with the pass, out of bounds. Washington ball. Noah Cross getting pressure. And Sam Hines comes back for the nifty pickup. Ground ball scrum. Aggies end up with it. Aaron Sharpley unloads to Pearson Haseman, who pops it in. Aggies cut lead to 1 here with 6:57 or 8:57 gone in the first. Darren Lee and Sanchez will go to X. Lee was a little quick on the whistle and is rewarded with the ground ball pickup. McGowan through X for the Bears. Back up top to Lee. Switches lefty quick and unloads. Aggies get it on the procedure call. Sanchez in on the wing. Ball just stripped by Lex Searcy, who rolls out. And the Aggies retain possession. Haseman brings it up. Aggies reset. Connor Cooper looking to get loose. And Washington's ride seems to have the Aggies stymied for the time being. And we have it over and back. Bears ball. And McGrone gets held up by the Aggie defense, and we have a push in the back. And McDowell will report and serve. Cardston Pearson will bring it in on the wing. Bears can't seem to get the ball moving forward. And McGrone right off the pipes in top corner. Washington retains ball. Kind of a sloppy pass. Haverman comes out of the crease and picks up the ground ball. Searcy on the ground ball converts. Washington rolls back into offense. Peterson on the edge unloads one fake and puts it in the top corner. Washington up. And we have a timeout before the face-off. And Coach Sean Archer having a word with his Aggies. Probably encourage them to shake a little dust off after the ride up. And Missouri State has been a wonderful host to us so far on our short stay and for the rest of the weekend. This is an amazing campus. This is a wonderful facility that they're in here, basically exclusive to them, to their lacrosse program. And that's a luxury a lot of MCLA teams don't enjoy. And we have all the sticks inspected, and we're going to roll out here for a face-off. And Sanchez in for the Aggies. Haverman out of the crease, picks up the ground ball. Sanchez gets put on the turf by Matthew Speicher. He's a flat, big kid. Peterson checks in through X. Opens the seam, takes a shot. On the rebound, Haverman pulls it in. And Haverman clears to Connor Cooper. Runs down, just unloads about 30 feet out for Texas A&M. And here with 4:31 remaining in the first, Aggies bring it back 2 goals to 3. And Zach Kroenke with the pickup. We'll have a slash penalty assessed here as soon as we get calmed down. McGrone will be checking out. See what the Aggies can do here on their man up. From what we saw last weekend, really didn't take a lot of advantage of it, albeit with limited opportunity. Haseman with a lost shoe gets that reel back in. Sharpley shoots wide. Haseman brings in over McDowell. McDowell feeds. Jeremy Plunger ends up with the ball, takes a shot wide. And Washington converts into the offensive zone. Peterson back up the wing. Sets to Noah Cross. Washington rolls up top. McGrone doesn't like what he sees, feeds back out. They reset on the left side. Travis Paulson shoots wide. Risky pass right off the goal face. Haverman. Aggies have 2 seconds to clear and run out of time on the clock procedure. Washington ball. They're going to get it over here to Will McGrone up top. Back up to Robinson. McGrone sets a pick to free his man. Peterson can't take full advantage of it. Gets crowded by the Aggie right off the goal face. Robinson forces the Aggies out. Aggies retain on the push. One minute left in the first. Cooper takes a shot, blocked. McDowell reels it back in. And Washington back to full strength, 30 seconds left. Sanchez on the turnover. And picks up the ground ball as well. And Aggies can't convert up top. And quarter ends. We're here from the campus of Missouri State. We have Washington University of Missouri leading the Texas A&M Aggies 3-2. And as we break to come out for the second quarter, I'm sure that Coach Clark is trying to convey to his Bears that they need to really focus on time of possession and sustained possessions. They've really done a good job with moving the ball, just haven't taken full advantage of all the shots that they could have got right off the goal face. And the Aggies just need to really set up in the offensive zone. They just haven't had the opportunity. And procedure call. Texas A&M ball. Jake Stern will bring it across. Check out. They'll counter with McDowell. Sharply feeds across the goal face, up high. Sanchez in to pick up the ground ball and takes a shot. Aggies retain possession. And Cooper feeds Sanchez up top. McDowell with the sloppy pass. Sanchez over there rushing to pick it up. And Aggies turn over. McDowell with the check and got the worst of it. Washington ball. Washington shoots. Haverman on the save. Down low. And the Aggies get sloppy with the clear. Washington ends up with the ball. Peterson down into the Washington attackman. Ball turned over outside the crease. Haverman reels it in. He's been handy on a couple of ground balls. Nice clear. Paulson pressure for Washington. Connor Cooper back up top for the Aggies. And A&M kind of doubled themselves up in the offensive zone in X and got their wires crossed. Turned over the ball. Marcus Pimentel picks up the ground ball, rolls into the offensive zone. Aggies break up the pass. Cooper can't get loose and finds Plunger. And it is snuffed out by Matthew Spurchger. Washington's ball with McGrone rolling down. Pops it in the back of the net off the pass. And Peterson's there for the goal. And as we roll into timeout, we're tied up 3-3, Texas A&M to Washington University of Missouri. And Coach Archer working with his Aggies, trying to maintain a little offensive attack. Make sure they take care of the ball in the offensive zone. They've certainly had opportunity today. As Coach Clark does the same with Washington. They are, for a team with a 1-1 record, they're fairly polished and just seem to take care of business on both ends of the field. And Sanchez will be out to face Darren Lee at the X. Sanchez with the win. Over to Sharpley, pressured. Ethan Schaefer on the backside of the net looks to exploit. Gets swung wide. Sharply dishes, Aggies turn over. Connor Cooper with the pressure. Aggies set the ride, force the Bears outside. Peterson up the wing. Feeds Haynes. Ball rolls out. Aggie ball. McDowell will bring it up for Texas A&M. Clears the pressure. A&M rolls into the offensive zone. Sharply out wide. Cuts, dishes, And Aggies turnover. Saw Pearson Hassman right there off the goal face, and the Aggies couldn't hang on to it, and ball was turned over. And there are the Washington Bears making the clear boring again. No excitement there, except Peterson turned the corner, went up high, and Haverman stifled it out right on the pipes. Haverman's going to find himself well into the offensive zone, which makes every coach crazy. Unloads up high. Sharply on a nifty fake, gets clear, tries it again. McDowell up top, over to Cooper. Another toss into Ethan Schaefer, and Aggies unable to retain possession. Sprager calling. Spitziger calling for the ball. He's a big target. Hard to miss him. And he checks back into the defensive zone. Stites over to McGrone. McGrone sets a pick, comes loose. Goes far side. Paulson was wide open and took his two-step and shot. Washington high on the ball and retains possession. Stites down low to Hagerman. Hagerman wants to come up the seam. Aggies stifle him on the ride. Washington takes a shot, retains possession. Stites will bring it back in. Check that to Hagerman. Gets his man turned around, comes up the seam, takes a shot wide. Stites denies the screen, comes back up on the opposite side on his. Ooh, that was handy. Freddie Gadalaro breaks that up. Washington ball. Clean pass into Joe Miller. Miller's got to pull it in. Peterson ends up with it. A&M turnover. Over to Griffin Wee. Sloppy pass. Robinson in pursuit. Saves it for the possession. Harrison Stites up top. That's the offense for the Bears. Gadalaro breaks momentum. And the Bears retain. Peterson looking to get wide. And feeds the Washington shooter up high. Oh, we have a broken equipment issue. Sam Hines with the broken stick and makes a hasty retreat to the sideline. And we have a timeout here from Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri. We have the Washington University of Missouri Bears leading Texas A&M Aggies 4-2 with 3 minutes 20 seconds left in the second. And Coach Clark breaks the huddle. Well, he calls his guys in. Pretty much players talking on that timeout, and I think they want a little pressure on one another to pick up the performance. Haverman pressured. Galileo on the turnover. Forces it back. McGrone on the pickup. Over to Griffin Wee on the wing. Who sets up Parker Robinson. Bears not really seeing anything they like. The Aggie right has them kind of stymied. Texas A&M ball. Cooper setting edge, rolls back. Brings it back up to McDowell. Sharpley's trying to feed the center. Kind of what the Aggies have been doing all day, and really to no avail. Pretty much everything set in the middle of the field's been stifled by Washington Ride. Sharpley on some good defense, forces a turnover. Ethan Schaefer picks it up, and the Aggies promptly give the ball back. Keeper loose. Ethan Wellheimer enjoying his time on the offensive zone. And will assess a penalty. And Washington will be man down for all but 10 seconds of the first half. Pimentel wide. Over to Spritziger. I'm not Haverman, but I think I would have ducked and covered on that. That looked like an atom bomb coming at me. That is a big kid. And that will bring us to the end of the first half. We're here from Springfield, Missouri at Missouri State. First part of our lacrosse trifecta with Texas A&M, Washington University, Missouri State, and St. Thomas on the weekend. And here we will wrap it up for the first half. I'll be back in about 8 minutes get you through the second half. For Game On Sports, I'm Jim Dixon. We'll see you here shortly. And as we roll down to time left to 0 for halftime, we are on the campus of Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri. With Game On Sports, I'm Jim Dixon, bringing to you this great matchup. I mean, not what I expected at all. So you have the Washington University of Missouri leading your Texas A&M Aggies 4-2 through the first half. And Washington will start with possession. And Washington with a nifty dodge rolls in, puts it in the back of the net. And Haverman basically gives up on the one-on-one and guesses one side. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose that battle, and that was one of them. And Washington steps up 5-2 with just a hair time gone in the third quarter. And Lee will be out to face off Sanchez. Lee's been fairly successful on the face-off and turns it over. Sharpley picks up the ground ball. And Wilheimer on the stop for Washington. And they convert a clean clear with James Lewis bringing it down. He'll go and check out. And Washington will opt for another attackman. McGrone feeds Paulson. Paulson shoots. Haverman on the save. Opts for a little dicier, a less dicey clear to Connor Cooper. Cooper simply mugged by the Washington defense. Jeremy Plunger stepping in. Plunger's got a couple of shots. Well, one shot off in the early first period. Sharpley looking for something up top and opts to roll through X to Ethan Schaefer. McDowell goes, pushed off his shot, goes wide. Sharpley will bring in for the Aggies. And Cooper shoots wide. Schaefer up top, McDowell over and back. And they're going to set that drive down the wing. Closed off by Darren Lee. Sharpley looking to turn the corner. And Aggies turn over. James Lewis with the ground ball. Feeds Marcus Pimentel. Paulson waits to reset. McGrone on the edge. Dumps the Aggies. The Aggies shut it out on the right and rewarded with a ground ball. Ball rolled literally across the face of the goal. And unfortunately turnover. And Washington scores on a little trickler. Kind of bounced around in the goal face and rolled in. Haverman just really unable to pull that in from the seat of his pants because he committed down low. Sanchez and Lee to X. No possession, and Aggies come up with it. Tyler Diaz with the ground ball pickup. And Ethan Schaefer moves it over to Connor Cooper. Aggies reset. Down in the corner to Schaefer. Sharply sets, shoots high. Aggies retain possession. Aggies get a little cavalier with the ball. And it is up for anybody at this point. McDowell comes in, picks up another ground ball. And Aggies forced for an ill-advised shot as the shot clock was running down. Freddie Gadalero picks the ground ball up. Rolls into the offensive zone. And McDowell will check in on the far side to reset the offense. McDowell had leverage, popped it in on the edge. That could have possibly been the most unenthusiastic goal I've ever seen, but A goal nevertheless. Aggies come back, trailing 3 goals with 8:23 left in the third. Yeah, Diaz picks up the ground ball. The LSM rolls down to the offensive zone. Ill-advised shot. Sharpley brings in. Rolls back on his righty and is stuffed out. Pearson Haseman up to McDowell. Back and over. We've seen this set up many times today. And the Washington Ride shuts it down again and is rewarded with a ground ball pickup. James Lewis was handy in the spot for that one. Connor Cooper makes clear for the Aggies. And we'll have a penalty assessed here. Will McGrone for his second slash on the day. Connor Cooper pressured. Down to McDowell. Back up. We set it up left side this time. Cooper under pressure. Errantly unloads to Schaefer. Ball turned over. Washington ball. Peterson sets on the edge. Beats his man on a swim. Right to Haverman's stick. And Plunger will have a minute rest. Just to show there's no hard feelings. The Aggies and Bears hugged it out after the penalty. Washington moving the ball around and rewarded down low. Haverman was set up high, basically making eye contact And the Bears score low. Boxes will clear. Both teams will be full. And Washington University steps up 7-3 over the Aggies here with 5:24 left in the third. And Washington works into the offensive attack zone. You could see the St. Thomas club checking in here. Haverman right on it. Again. And Haverman brings it up for the Aggies. Schaefer goes back to pick up the ball, and the Aggies reset. And McDowell down the seam, shoots wide. And Sharpley, as he's done all day, working on the wing, but he has guys draped on him. You have to work a little harder when you're carrying body weight with you. Cooper down low. Nice bouncer in. And Wilheimer unable to catch up to it. Here in the third with 3:44 remaining. Washington University of Missouri Bears 7, your Texas A&M Aggies 4. Diaz for the pickup. And Wilheimer picks up the ground ball. And looking to get loose. Forced out on a rushed throw. Wow. Peterson just gets his stick up out of the zone of his defender and unloads it. Haverman is really just able to sit and watch because he thought the ride had him forced out. Peterson had to work on that one. Eight for Washington with just over 3 minutes left. Sanchez with the ground ball win. Over to Sharpley. Plunger calling for it open, and Cooper comes in, shoots wide. Aggies ball. Sharpley will bring it in. Just draped on the double, off the pipes. Cooper goes outside, looks to come back inside. Ball turned over. And Griffin Wee on the ground ball. Converts, reluctantly releases to the bench. And the Bears check in with a more suitable attackman. Pimentel gets a rolling start. Cuts his corner, bounce pass wide, or bounce shot wide. Joe Miller with some good defense there for the Aggies. Haverman steps up. Over to Hendricks. Hendricks converts into Sharpley, and the Aggies are in business here on offense. Oh my goodness. Jeremy Plunger picks it up right on the crease line and dumps it in low. He's been screaming for shots all day. That kid is 7'11". He's open all the time, and they finally found him. And with just over a half minute left, the Aggies are trying to claw back in this in the third quarter. Sanchez out. And the Bears counter with Sam Hines. On the procedure call, Washington receives the ball. Joe Miller trying to keep McGrone in check. And the third quarter ends. And Coach Archer for the Aggies is enjoying the sun. He's dumped the jacket, opted for short sleeves.
Fred, I'm going to come down and just put something.
And as Washington comes out of the huddle, they'll be looking to keep that O rolling. Certainly having better luck than they had in the first half. And the Aggies have kind of clawed back into this, closed the gap a little bit on the transition game. And Washington will have possessions. They ran the clock out with possession in the third quarter. And Washington scores quickly here in the fourth quarter. With a very, very physical ride and just making up for it with body strength and movement, getting loose and unloading it. Washington ball on the face-off. And another quick goal off the ground ball. So much for the Aggies' momentum rolling into the fourth. That momentum looked to be extinguished, and the Aggies need to gather themselves, man up. And Diaz gets a ground ball, and the Aggies turn it over. James Lewis picks it up for Washington. Washington virtually unpressured out on the perimeter. Robinson kind of got stifled on his shot and ended up as a really soft pass into Haverman. But on the pipe, so Haverman gets a save of the 30-mile-an-hour variety. Connor Cooper. Cooper draws a double. Plunger in pursuit. And Aggies turn over. Sanchez tried to break that up. Griffin Wee. McGrone with the screen, breaks his man loose. And the Aggies are the recipients of a handy ground ball. Freddie Gadalero on the spot. And just that quick, it turns over to Washington ball. And these two teams are getting used to this fast turf. Schaefer unable to unload it. Plunger sets up in the middle and draws a double. And Connor Cooper not really able to get a leverage shot. And we will assess a penalty on Washington. And the Aggies will be up. Man up for 30 seconds. See if they can utilize this time. Kind of a chaotic ball there. And Washington turns over. Plunger will bring it in for the Aggies. Washington back to full strength. .9:10 left in the fourth. Wilheimer sets on the inside post and rides out with Sharpley. Sharpley shoots high. Wilheimer's long pass. Converts. Haverman just stonewalls him out from the crease. And Aggies are rewarded with the ground ball. Or not. Peterson comes up the wing. Lacrosse, and Zeke Hendricks picks it up. The Aggies into Sharpley. Sharpley with the matchup he wanted, shoots wide. Cooper just couldn't get the corner turned into Sharpley. Gets a shot off. And Wilheimer with the save off the leg. Haverman with the stop. Thinks better of it. Going out to get the ground ball. And penalty assessed on the Aggies. And we'll come out of the timeout. Aggies will be man down. With 6:24 left in the fourth. Aggies trail 5 goals. And the Aggies will come out and just focus on winning the next minute by the next minute and see if they can get back in this thing. And I think Washington's instructions will be pretty simple, more of the same. Aggies will need to, on top of the 5-goal deficit, need to deal with a man down. Diaz on the breakup. Yes, trying to lift McGrone's stick. McGrone breaks loose. up top. And Washington steps up 11-5 with just under 6 minutes left in the fourth. Sam Shirel just checking in, picks up the ground ball for Texas A&M. And Diaz busts loose to keep it in the Aggie zone. Sharpley gets it knocked out of his stick, and the Aggies kind of kicked it around. Wellheimer ends up pulling it in. And Darren Lee gets a handy breakaway with a one-on-one unimpeded just to the back of the net. Haverman can't step up on it. And the Aggies sit at 5-12 with just over 5 minutes left in the fourth. Washington ball on the face-off. McGrone shoots high. Check that. Sam Hines shoots high. I got fooled by the two and the swell cabbage out of the back of the headgear. Haverman on the stop. Aggies with a clean clear. Sharpley sets up on the edge. Got his man turned around. And finds Ethan Schaefer cruising through X unattended and errantly throws it over his head out of the end line. Stites rolls into the offensive zone. Dishes to James Lewis, who just pops it in the back of the net. And Washington is starting to run away with this thing 5-13 with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left. Sanchez with the win. Immediately smothered. And Washington will be rewarded with possession on the ball scrum. Washington turns over on the errant pass. Peterson brings in from the end line. Over to McGrone. Haverman on the good stop. Christian Chavera playing some tenacious defense and just can't seem to make Washington work hard enough to turn over. Shot right to Haverman's stick. Haverman pressured. Austin Johnson. Check that. That's Zeke Hendricks on the ground ball. And the Aggies roll into the offensive zone. And Sharpley picks up a handy goal on a missed slide by Washington. Finds himself open, goes down low. And with 1:12 left, brings him within 7. Tyler Diaz with a handy pickup. And the Aggies with a quick shot. Wellheimer on the save. And they roll into the offensive zone. Haverman took that off a body part. It went back further than the shot. Hendricks again playing some good defense. Haverman with a nice roll in. He's still rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Getting it downfield. Jeremy Plunger picks it up. Into Alex Sanchez. Plunger with the shot. Kind of forced the issue on the bounce shot, and the Aggies go down. Six to 13. And everybody's going to roll in and dap up their goalie, and these guys will get out here and shake hands. Yeah, the Aggies just could not seem to convert. Their offense was a little scrambled at times, and as soon as they lost momentum in the early part of the fourth, the Bears of Washington University just ran away with it. And Ethan Wellheimer had a great stay-in goal for Washington. the defense kept him off his back, and he didn't have a lot of quality shots to face, but everything that came his way, for the most part, he stopped, aside from the 6 goals that the Aggies converted on. But again here from Springfield, Missouri at Missouri State, I'm Jim Dixon with Game On Sports, and we will be back either shortly or longly at 5 o'clock for our second game of the day, with Texas A&M facing the Bears of Missouri State. And we will be back here shortly. And everybody take care. And until we meet again, God bless.